All right, guys, it's that time. Let's build another coffin bookshelf like this one. 6 1x8 by 8 foot long common boards from Home Depot, $19.50 a piece. 1 4x8 sheet of 1/4 inch plywood for the back. Circular saw with angle cut. You can get these pretty cheap on Amazon or at your local Harbor Freight. 1 5/8 contractor screws. Speed square. This is the cheapest one I could find. Anyone will do. Caulking is optional. I went with black. A level, a pencil, drill for pre-drilling our screws so the wood doesn't split, and an impact to set the screws. Preferred color of paint, we went with gloss black. And don't forget your handy dandy tape measure. All right, guys, before we get started, I just want to say I am building this in the most DIY friendly way possible. You don't need to know any special ways of cutting. You don't need to know any special angles, math, any of that. I'm building this for your average person who wants one of these but doesn't want to spend $500-600 to get one. So follow along. This is going to be as simple as possible to put together, to make the cuts, and to get it all complete. Take your first board, find a somewhat flat surface. I'm going to use just between the garage doors. Line this guy up here, and that's going to give me a somewhat square surface to measure from. I'm going to take my first board. I'm going to line this up right on the edge here, and then same with the second board. At this point, I'm just kind of eyeballing the bottom and about approximately how wide I want the base to be. And then I'm gonna take these guys, let me get you fixed up here, and I'm gonna put them at a slight canter out, okay? Something like that, starting to look a little bit more like a coffin. Now I'm gonna take my tape measure because I really want to determine how wide I am at my widest point, and I want to make sure that it's not going to look goofy. I'm going to shoot inside about 36 inches to its widest point. That's 36 inches wide right there. Okay, now you might be asking yourself, how do I cut this board to fit with this board seamlessly? You're going to take your level, you're going to put it across both boards at an angle, hold it, mark both sides, okay? Now, do it on the other side. You should have something that looks like this. Cut this, cut this. All right, find the line that you made. We're gonna take our speed square and line that puppy up. I'm gonna mark it all the way across the board here. I'm gonna flip this and do the same thing on the other side. Now, there's 2 lines that are in different spots. I'm gonna line those guys up. And there's our angle. Okay, now to find this angle, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take this board, I've got it marked out on both sides. I'm gonna take my saw, loosen my angle so that it's adjustable. I'm gonna set it square, but I'm gonna angle it until it matches that angle. I'm gonna lock it in. It's telling me that this is approximately 36 degrees. All right, once you get those all cut, you should have something that looks like this. Now, it's not perfect. It's never going to be with the circular saw, but once you get everything affixed together, it's actually a lot easier to hide any imperfections than you think. And then having that caulking is a great way to hide any miscuts or gaps that may be created. Right now, these are just loose. I'm going to show you how to get them affixed. Let's do it. Okay, and once I have this square-ish, I'm going to take my drill and I'm going to drill through this as straight as possible to get the screw to anchor in. Okay, Now we'll take our first screw, get that fixed in here. Okay, screw one is in. Okay, do the same thing on the other side. All right, once you've got that all done, you should have something that looks like this. All right, guys, now that I've got that in connected there, I need to determine that I'm still at my point of width that I wanted. Remember, I was going for 36 inches. So I've got to pull it in a little bit. All right, there's my 36. My gaps have actually gotten a lot tighter now that I've brought it in. There's still a little bit of slight spacing right here, but that's just because it was a pretty poor cut. And again, that'll all get cleaned up with caulking, but it can also be fairly hidden with just black paint. All right, next step, guys. Now we need to determine the angle we want and how high we want our coffin to be. I'm personally shooting for about 7.5 feet. My ceiling height is only 8 feet. I don't want it all the way to the top of the ceiling. Okay, now I'm gonna take another board. I've cut it in half, and now I'm just gonna lay it out and kind of find the profile that I'm looking for. Coffins come in a variety of different shapes, sizes, and so figuring out that top arch, how tall you want it to be, how short you want it to be, maybe how wide, how stubby, and just finding the profile that makes the most sense for you.